lot of Detroit Lions news and rumors to cover. Waking up on this Friday, a lot to go over, so I'm not even going to do an intro in this bad boy. But make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. It helps push the video out there. Since there's so much, we're just going to get to it right now. First off, we're going to talk about Michael Brocker's situation here. Lions cut candidates as well with Michael Brocker's. Derrick Henry trade rumors, interesting ones popping up. Aaron Glenn update and Lions free agency rumors. The latest as we're getting close to free agency here starting in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. The rumors are starting to pile up, as they should be, because we're getting closer, and that's what's going to occur. First, we're going to start with the Michael Brockers here, and I'm going to do my epic meter of 4 Lions logos. As you know, Michael Brockers was released today from the Detroit Lions. The reason we all feel it's a good move because he's barely played last year, and he was a big piece to the Lions cap. So he was hurting the Lions cap space. You're not utilizing him. Of course, the Detroit Lions are going to release him. Everybody knew it. It was a foregone conclusion. Not a surprise here. It saves the Lions approximately $10 million in cap space, where you can use money and other assets. Maybe you want to get cornerback or safety, or go get a linebacker in free agency. Use the money from Michael Brockers to actually assets that can help the football team out, and that's what you got to do here. Now, does it spell the end of Michael Brockers' playing time? Maybe. But you want to know, what if he was to come back as maybe an assistant defensive line coach? I think he has the qualities to be something like a very good player, a leadership. I mean, he didn't play for half the year, and he was completely okay with it, and he took that role of a leader pretty well. So maybe we'll see him back something like that. I don't know anything about it, but just a thought here. There's other cut candidates, too, the Detroit Lions could look to cut to help out the cap space, and we're probably going to be hearing it here in the next couple of weeks. Well, very shortly, in all honesty. Charles Harris, edge, that can be an option for the Detroit Lions to save a little bit of money there. Romeo Okwara as well. I think one of these guys will get cut. I don't think both of them will. One of those guys, I feel, is gone. Halapoulivaati Vaitai is a cut candidate as well. The amount of money that he's currently at the offensive guard position, and we don't even know if he's going to play. And Julian Okwara, could he be a cut candidate? Not necessarily saving a whole lot in cap space, but we don't use him that much, and it would give an idea of potentially them drafting an edge in the draft at some point. So those are cut candidates I have for the Detroit Lions, and I got a question for you in the comments below. Would you trade for Derrick Henry? That is the next subject of this video here. Y for yes and N for no. Again, a lot of rumors are coming out that Derrick Henry could be traded from the Tennessee Titans. You know me, I absolutely love Derrick Henry. He's my favorite player in the NFL. Big-bodied running back, that just smash mouth type of player. He loves the contact, and he's so big he can deal with it. He's just a absolute stud, 6'3", 247 pounds. And look, he's still very productive at his age of 29 years old. This past season, 349 attempts, 1,538 yards, 13 touchdowns, an average of 4.4. And his career, as you can see, is just absolute monstrous for what he has done as a running back here. But it's not just all about, well, we can trade for the player, right? You also got to look at the finances of a player. In 2022, he's $16.3 million, and he's probably going to want a contract extension, because if you're going to trade for a player, you want to have him more than 1 year. In all honesty, the compensation will be very high, I feel, for a Derrick Henry. In all honesty, it could be a 18th pick in the draft. Personally, I would not trade for Derrick Henry, and I'm going to tell you why. I absolutely love him. He's my favorite player, but he's 29 years old, and I think for the Detroit Lions, we can draft our players. And if you want to upgrade the running back position, there is options out there in the draft to do so. I love Henry. I absolutely do. But giving up such a high draft pick for me is not something I personally want to do. I do believe in the philosophy of the main components of your team of drafting your players. So I'm going to give this a 1 Lions logo out of 4 here. I don't think the Lions are going to do it at all. Maybe he does get traded to another team, but I just don't believe the Detroit Lions are going to be on that team. So we got some news here about Aaron Glenn getting a contract extension. Now, a lot of people are going crazy over this, and I'm going to tell you why it's not big of a deal here. He gets a pay raise, and honestly, it doesn't mean much. Why doesn't it not mean much? Well, because it doesn't mean much because he can just get a head coaching job next year. I think when it comes to getting him extension, all it means is getting a pay raise. So I don't care. I'm going to tell you that it doesn't affect the cap space. So if he gets a pay raise, I'm not going to argue with what somebody makes or doesn't make. It does not affect the Detroit Lions cap, so good for him. Make some more money. You know, if Sheila Ford wants to do that, good on her. I personally don't care. He's going to be back anyways, so, you know, I'm happy for anybody getting their money as long as it doesn't affect the cap space. And so, again, I'm going to give this a 1 logo here out of 4 because I personally do not care that he got himself a pay raise. Good on him for sure. I'm always appreciative of that. We are about 70 subscribers away from 33,600 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, hit it right now. Let's continue on here with some free agency and draft rumors that's hitting the market. We're going to talk about Bobby Wagner, Leighton Vander Esch. PFF gave Leighton Vander Esch the spot for the Detroit Lions to come to free agency. As you know, I talked about him in an offseason plan about a month ago, and I think he would be a good fit for the Detroit Lions. You know, again, you don't want to pay too much because he's an injury-prone player, but now you're starting to see connections here, you know, people looking at it and say this would be the perfect situation for him. Again, it'd be a 1-year cheap deal, and that's what Brad Holmes does. So if you would like to get a free agent linebacker in here on the cheap, he could be a real legitimate option. Also, Bobby Wagner was released by the Rams here. He's very good linebacker, absolutely stunning. If the Detroit Lions really want to upgrade the linebacker position, he would be an option. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, but make no mistake about it, even though he's 32 years old, 33, when the 2023 season ends, he's still a baller. The guy is a tackling machine, and most importantly, he is very smart. He's done it for so many years. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. So if the Lions were to lose Alex Anzalone, he would be a major upgrade for 2023. He wants to probably play on a team that's going to make the playoffs. Guess what? Lions are now one of those teams in the options there. He could be something the Lions could look at, and he would be an absolute good signing for the Detroit Lions. Even though I'm not about getting older, I do think it's important to have veterans selected on a team. You can't just have all young guys. You do got to have people with experience. He could be one of those options. Running back options that we're hearing a lot now regarding the Detroit Lions and potentially going after a high-end running back. I've talked about this endlessly, that this could be something they look at more in the draft. But now you're hearing like 97 that talk about, go ahead and get Saquon Barkley here from the New York Giants. It's going to cost a pretty penny. Per spot track, it's around $12.3 million to get a Saquon Barkley. And due to the fact that Daniel Jones is probably going to get franchise tagged, Barkley may be open in the market. That could be an option for the Detroit Lions, and I'll tell you in a minute. Same with Bijan Robinson. I talked about don't be surprised if the Lions were to draft him at pick 18 because they would like to have that long-term running back that's a difference maker. If you've seen what Jared Goff did with the Rams, he was outstanding when they had a great running back over there. And if you look at the Lions, we're literally about 2 pieces away from having one of the best offenses in football. We're really close. You can get a guard in the draft, or you can get guard and running back. I do think it's a need to running back. If you look at, again, Jamal Williams, a free agent. We think the future of DeAndre Swift is not here in Detroit, so they could go and get a nice running back, and you get a guard as well, and this offense is complete. And we still got a lot of free agency in the draft to really fix this defense. I think it is something to think about. Do we get Saquon Barkley? Probably not. I would say it's the lower end of no, but a Bijan Robinson or taking a running back high in the draft in the first 2 rounds is a legit possibility. So when it comes to the Detroit Lions and free agency in the draft with the latest players here, I'm going to have to give this a 3 logos out of 4. I do think it's a realistic possibility, and that's why you're seeing mock drafts more with Bijan Robinson. I know a lot of people they want to just do defense, but that's not realistic, folks. They're not going to go defense in every single draft pick. That's just not going to happen. You have 8 draft picks. You're not going to draft 8 defensive players. It's not realistic because you only have 11 starters on defense. If you were to draft all defensive players for these guys, it's probably going to go on the practice squad, then get picked up by another team, and it was a wasted draft pick. So it is possible they look to upgrade the running back position, no doubt about it. Folks, guess what? There is some XFL games you can bet on and make a little bit of money. That is for sure. So go to chatsports.com/lionsbet. It's better than a lottery ticket. It's better than going to a casino. It's a great way to make some money. And if you would have followed what I've talked about all during the NFL season, you would have made some money. We got some news here, too. The Detroit Lions signed a cornerback, Mr. Mac McCain from the Philadelphia Eagles. You say, who is this Mac McCain? Well, Mac McCain is a camp body. That's what he is. He barely got any playing time on and off practice squads. I don't think this is a big-time difference maker at all for the Detroit Lions. I just think it is a name. This is not a free agent target where this guy is going to be starting. He was predominantly, when he did play, he was on special teams, and he only did 11 snaps on defense last year. So he is a guy who's moving around. He's young, and that's about it. So there you go. Folks, we have videos dropping every single day. Got a video tomorrow, and then we start on next week as March is here. And then you got free agency right after. I cannot wait to get into it. So make sure you hit that notification bell because there's going to be a lot of breaking news regarding Lions signings. I'm going to be available the whole time. I'm going to be sitting at my desk in my office. Anytime something is happening, you're going to get it right away here because that's what we do on this channel. So you don't want to miss out on the latest news and rumors regarding our Detroit Lions. Adios.